Hello.
Hello everyone and welcome to our webinar this afternoon. I'll just wait a couple of minutes there now while people are logging in. And I'd just like to say that if anybody has any questions at all throughout this webinar, if they would like to type them into either the Q&A box at the end or the chat box, and their questions will be answered at the end. We'll have a Q&A at the end of the webinar. So this webinar is how to win at social media for business. And I'd like to introduce you now to Jeff and Rakky from Matrix Internet, and they'll take it from here. Thanks, guys.
Great, thanks, Mary, and hello to everybody out there. I hope everybody is well and safe. Thanks for the opportunity to present again. We were on a few weeks ago. Thankfully, the last time we had this, I had an opportunity to shave and to put on a shirt and to feel human again. And this time I started to grow a moustache. I think for the next one, Mary, I might even do something more radical, maybe a Mohican or something for these occasions. So, but it is nice to reconnect because we're in a very disconnected mode at the moment. So, and Rakky, my colleague, is the real expert for today. And what we want to do is to help people to see the landscape of social media in this current COVID-19 pandemic, but also to try to look at ways to use social media as a real tool in this time to be more effective, to help foster the relationship between all of our companies and our customers. So we hope you get something good from today, and we have a good presentation lined up, but also a Q&A afterwards as well to field anything else. So my name is Jeff Sheridan, and I'm from Matrix Internet, and we're a digital agency based here in Dublin. And we do a lot of different things for people. We build websites, we design things, but we also attract people to websites and to social media channels. And that's some of what we're going to touch on today. We have a great team. We have a great team in Matrix, a really diverse team of different ages, different backgrounds, different countries, different skill sets. It just couldn't be more diverse, and it couldn't be more interesting in terms of the people that we have inside of Matrix and the skills. So a great team behind us, and that helps us to work for a lot of our clients who are also diverse. So that's probably a good word for today, in that we have government bodies, Irish companies, foreign multinationals, and hundreds of SMEs as well. And oftentimes they're the ones that give us the most interesting projects. And that leads me nicely onto Rakky, who Rakky leads our social media team, and what she does on a daily basis is come up with fantastic ideas to use social media to win at business, to connect with customers. And it's probably a good time for me to hand over to the real brains behind today's presentation.
So thank you so much, Jeff, and thank you so much to the Design Crafts Council to the opportunity to talk to you guys today. So as Jeff said, I'm Rakky. My name is Rakky Curvelo. I'm the social media specialist behind in Matrix Internet. And today I have a group of missions here. I want to help you guys to understand the most popular social media platforms available. I want you guys to find some good ways to use each platform to understand your audience better in the way, and also to win a social media. And I will do that covering the most trend topics on social media in 2020, the most popular platforms. We will talk about how to organize your social media presence through using a content calendar. I'll share some useful tools that we use at Matrix Internet and that we use in other projects. We'll talk about COVID-19, and I will give you some examples of what to do with your social media presence during the pandemic, and the smart things, you know, that you can put in place. And I'll give you guys some recommendations. Feel free to follow us on Twitter at Matrix_Internet, DCC Ireland, and Rakky_Curvelo. And we are also preparing some surprises for you today. So if you use the hashtag Matrix Social Media. I'm sure you have a great surprise at the end of this presentation, okay? So let's start. As if you guys were here 2 weeks ago when Jeff gave his presentation, his webinar on e-commerce, you know that Jeff likes to introduce some questions during his presentations. And I'm a person that follows tradition, so I'll do exactly the same thing. We'll have a few quiz questions throughout this presentation as a way for you guys to think about what you already know and discover new things as well. Another thing that you might have noticed by now is that my accent is not an Irish accent. I'm not Irish, I'm Brazilian. And during the time that I've spent living here in Ireland, I've learned a lot of things that Brazilian people and Irish people have in common. And one of the things that we have in common that is the most interesting for me is the fact that we are nations, we are people that know how to throw a party. And we know our drinks, but there's a huge difference in the way we do that. And here it goes. That's the Irish way of drinking, and this is the Brazilian way of drinking. And the proportionals here are right. A pint of Guinness or a pint of beer in Ireland has 517 milliliters, while a Brazilian cup of beer has 115 milliliters. That's because we cannot drink a full pint of beer before it gets hot because of our weather, right? So we drink in small cups. We call them American cups. I don't know why we call them American cups if they're 100% Brazilians. But anyways, why am I talking about drinking and about beer and about parties? Well, because today is Friday, right? And at the end of this webinar, it's also the end of the week. And we want to give you guys a small prize just to incentivize you guys to tweet about our presentation and to interact with us in the Q&A section and to make this a bit more fun. So if you use the hashtag Matrix Social Media, you will get a chance to win a bottle of Sagatiba Cachaça. Cachaça is our Brazilian rum or Brazilian tequila, Brazilian vodka. You only need to know that it's a very traditional drink. It's the base for our caipirinha, and it's amazing. So that's a prize for today. Use the hashtag Matrix Social Media on Twitter, and you'll get a chance to win this bottle at the end of this webinar. So enough of prizes and Friday and party. Let's go to the work before. There's one question that I heard a lot ever since I started to work with social media and everything, ever since I started to do what I do in my daily basis. And this question is that, does social media drive sales? Well, the answer is yes, of course it drives sales. But as you guys are probably aware of, it doesn't take you only to set up a Facebook page or an Instagram profile to actually get revenue from your profile or for your store. You need to do a bit of work. You know, you need to plan content, you need to have a presence, you need to stay online, and you need to connect with people. Social media relationships and social media sales are based in your interactions. So that's the important trick here. If you use your content right, and if you plan it right, you will drive sales using your social media platforms. So let's get it started. My first question for this day, and that's one of the questions that we will have here in our quiz, is what's the most popular social media platform in the world nowadays? So I'll give you guys some time to answer this, like maybe 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And well, that's not very difficult.
Somebody has guessed Twitter.
Oh, really?
Somebody has guessed Instagram.
No, not really. It's actually Facebook. Facebook's the most popular social media platform nowadays. Still as Facebook, guys, I know. Facebook has 2.5 billion monthly active users. Like, there's unprecedented. No other social media platform has this amount of active users per month. And 3.2 million of those are here in Ireland. Lots of people set up their business pages on Facebook, and Facebook is also considered the first social media platform for most of business. They're starting or setting up their online presence. They're starting to do social, and then they go to Facebook because Facebook is like the name that it's in everyone's mouth. So, what's happening currently with Facebook is that Facebook only shows the content of your business page to 2.5% of your followers in an organic matter. That means that if your page has 100 followers, 2, maybe 3 people will see your content organically. This is one of the changes of Facebook algorithm. Facebook algorithm changes a lot. So it's paramount for you to keep an eye and observe those changes, to learn how to behave and to adapt your strategy on Facebook to get the most out of the changes and to get the most out of your profile. Nowadays, the most recent update that this algorithm has is that it prioritizes the content on based on what the users usually interact with, the type of media that you share, and the popularity of the post. So let's say you shared a photo that has more interactions than most of your other posts. That image has more chances to become viral if you put a bit of investment behind it, or if you learn from it and try to repeat the same achievement with other posts. We'll talk about this a bit more in detail later on. Here are 5 of my tips for you to win on Facebook in 2020. And the first tip is just one thing that I will be repeating all the time today, and you guys will understand why later on. Create a content calendar and follow this content calendar. Just know very well that I created content calendars on a daily basis, and I'm always updating those content calendars for all our clients. And this is a way to keep your social media presence organized, to guarantee that you always have posts scheduled or sharing. You will be always present on your social media. So for Facebook, it's also very important to start conversations and make sure that you are always getting your audience to talk to you or to talk in between each other. As many conversations we can inject in the social platform, the better, because those are the content that will be growing your audience, that will be showing your content in your page to more people. The third tip here is to post your content when your audience is online. So Facebook has a very important tool that's called Facebook Insights. If you go on your business page and click in Facebook Insights, you'll see loads of different data about impressions, the reach, the likes, and how each one of your posts performed on a daily basis. But you also see how your audience behaves. So that's based basically on the people that follow your page and at what time they are online with more frequency. So if you want to reach them, you should post in the time that they are online. Fourth tip here, it's never post content that will downrank you. And to know what kind of content is that, it's just think about it as content that you cannot prove that is true, so fake news, or images that don't have a good quality, or images that promote wrong stuff. You know, don't post that, don't share that. Don't use low quality images, don't use content that is not yours and that doesn't represent your brand. And the fifth tip is to invest a bit in pay ads, to expand the reach of the posts that are already performing well. You know, that's important for you to keep a balanced presence on Facebook, you know. Second question, are you guys ready? Let's go. Which social media platform was the first place to introduce the use of hashtags? I think this is an easy one.
Yeah, we have a few guesses for Twitter. A good few guesses for Twitter.
Twitter. I don't know. Yes, it's Twitter. Somebody said a different thing.
Few different guesses. We won't name and shame, but most people said Twitter.
Okay, yeah, I'm talking about Twitter, guys, and Twitter is another very popular social media platform with 386 million active users per month. It's a perfect platform for live events and for webinars. That's why we are tweeting on matrix_internet at this very moment. And I'd like to thank our friend Rakky that is doing the live tweet for us here. Thank you so much, Rakky. We love you. And Twitter is also a very good platform to do one thing that we call social listening. So it's just to monitor how your brand is performing, or how content related to your brand is performing. And I explain. So let's say that you sell guitars and handmade guitars. So you can search on Twitter to see how people are interacting with your brand, but also how people are interacting with your competitors, or how people want to, where people want to buy those guitars, or which kind of materials people think that it would be a good idea to use to create a new guitar, and etc. and etc. So another thing that's very important to know about Twitter is that Twitter, different from Facebook, based the content that it shows to the audience in a mix of different sections. So those sections are three. There is the reverse chronological order, so that's all content that have been posted and all pages that you follow based on the most recent to the less recent content. There is the tweets ranked by algorithm that considers all the things that you follow, the hashtags that you follow, the accounts with which you interact the most. And there is the in case you miss it, that it's a list of tweets that are showed to you when you were offline for a while, and from accounts that Twitter algorithm knows that you follow with more frequency, or that you interact with more frequency. Twitter, it's a great platform for you to post real-time stuff, or for you to share customer care, you know, for you to interact with your customer in a more closed way. You shouldn't use content from other platforms to interact with in Twitter. And I would say that about all social media platforms that we'll be talking about today. And going back to my top 5 tips to win on Twitter in 2020, that's one tip. Like, produce original content for Twitter, because Twitter understands content that is shared or cross-post from other platforms, and it's the kind of content that it's downranked. Post engaging content, so post videos, post pictures, post memes, GIFs, fun content. It's always welcome on Twitter, and you can interact with your customers by sharing polls and asking questions about your products and services, asking questions about the events that you will be doing or special dates that you are celebrating. Another key factor of Twitter that I consider is one of the most important things is that Twitter provides us with a vital tool that's called trending topics. And following this will allow you to know which are the conversations that are ranking better on Twitter, giving you the opportunity to take part of those conversations, interact with these people, and win new followers and get your presence on Twitter bigger. Tweet like during live events and webinars, as we are doing, and of course, create a content calendar to organize your tweets. That's all about Twitter, and I'll save the questions that I know they're coming from the chat and from Twitter as well to the end of our presentation. Okay, I have my third question ready. Here we go. Hashtag no filter. In which social platform this hashtag is the most popular at all? Do we have people answering here?
All the guesses in rapid fire are Instagram. It's impressive.
Okay.
The 10 answers came in 1 second.
Oh my gosh.
All
so
correct.
Yes. All correct. We are talking about Instagram. And I know Instagram is the favorite social media for a lot of people that are here online with us, because you are the design and craft specialist, you know. So you share things with pictures, you share things with video. Instagram is also a very, very popular social media platform nowadays, with more than 1 billion monthly users. It's a platform that is ranking better posts that have a very organized grid, that has a gradient colors, and it's a very visual platform that demands you to use high quality photos and high quality videos. Another thing about Instagram that is very important for we all to know is that different from Facebook and Twitter, Instagram algorithm is based on a machine learning process. So that means that it's an almost automatic algorithm that is evolving every day. And this algorithm is based on how the users interact with posts. So if a user interacts with your brand in a daily basis or in a weekly basis, this user is more likely to be the first one seeing your content or receiving content from your brand with more frequency. You know, there are 6 factors that are the factors that base Twitter Instagram algorithm, and those key factors are the timeliness, the interest, the frequency, the following, the usage, and the relationship. Instagram is a very important network for you to build real relationships with your customers, with your stakeholders, with people that follow you, with people that follow your brand. There is a very big myth surrounding Instagram recently, that is people saying that photos and videos are ranked differently, and that videos have been prioritized by Instagram. That's not true. So photos and videos are treated equally through the platform, so you can post both of them. You know, here we go with my my 5 tips for you to win on Twitter in 2020. And the first tip, I think, as like the principle, if I was able to only give you guys one tip on how to use Instagram, that would be it. Tell your brand story. Use storytelling. Remember people, what you do and why you do that. And captivate your audience with inspirational thoughts. Every brand has a history. Every brand has a history to tell. At Matrix Internet, we are about to achieve our 20th anniversary, and we are very, very happy with that. We are planning a lot of surprises for you guys in September, so keep an eye on our Instagram. Also, keep your grid organized and apply filters, create colors that are related to your brand, create content that shows your brand in its colors and its vibrance and its nature. Use the stories and highlights as much as you can. Instagram is prioritizing brands and business profiles that use those tools. They are very important to help you to share backstage content on things, how you do things, how you schedule a social media post, or if you are in a marketing universe, or how you make a pot, or how you fabricate your products. You know, people are interested in learning stuff and using stories and using highlights to organize this in your Instagram. It's a win-win-win. And last but not least, interact with your followers. People that are usually they're used to like your pictures or comment your pictures and videos or be present in your lives on Instagram and stuff like that. Those are very important people for your brand, because these are your real influencers. If they are already captivated by your brand story, if they are already following you and interacting with you, those are the people that you must prioritize. Using content that they produce, sharing stories about them, sharing quotes of them, sharing comment things and stimulating them to comment on your Instagram profile. So just do that. Final question, because that's our final social media that we will be mentioning today. Let's see if you guys are all alive. Pins, boards, and new ideas. Which social media platforms focus and share more of this than in getting new followers and likes and stuff like that?
About 10 guesses already for Pinterest.
Oh my God! You guys are sharp.
20 guesses for Pinterest already.
Jesus. Yeah, you guys got it right. And I know the reason. I know that most of you love Pinterest as well, because it's a very aesthetic platform, you know, in which the designs and crafts, that's the house of designs and crafts, you know, because that's the platform that is focused on like sharing ideas and sharing DIY stuff and content from recent days and content from that have any specific aesthetics. Those are the contents that will be winning on Pinterest. Well, Pinterest announced this year a huge amount of change in their algorithm. So for years and years, Pinterest would prioritize all sorts of content in the platform based on the user interest. Now they changed a bit these mechanics, and they are focused on fresh content. That means that they will be rewarding content creators. They are always online, they're always sharing boards, they're always sharing pins, and they are always building up their presences in the platform. So if you have a profile on Pinterest that is there with like a specific amount of boards and a specific amount of things, and you left it there, letting it alone, and just waiting for people to interact with you, just go back to your profile, just update things because things have changed. My top 5 tips here to win in Pinterest in 2020. The first one, as I just said, is to focus on your boards and on your pins. Pinterest has accumulated this reputation of being a platform that valorizes community, and that is still true. But because of this recent change in the algorithm, it's better for your brand to focus in having like your boards and your pins very organized and with recent content, with fresh content, before you start to go to multiple boards and to different boards that are out of your profile. So that's one tip that's very important now. You should prioritize this. Optimize your boards for search. So if you sell, let's say, scarves, and you have a collection of scarves for summer and a collection of scarves for winter, create different boards with those. Use the keywords that people are using while searching for scarves on Google, and try to include those keywords in the description of your board, in the name of your board, trying to include the year and the month to make your board to look fresh, and try to include always new pictures and new things. Pin more often from your website. So it's very cool to pin reviews and other websites mentioning us, and it's nice to have that presence linking for third-party websites. But it's very important as well to have your own content pin in your page. So link to your website, link to the products that are already there. Stop or reduce drastically your duplicating pinning, because the new algorithm from Pinterest might understand that as if you were a spammer, and then that can get you down. And consider seasons, consider holidays, consider different situations, consider COVID-19 and tweet and post about it and pin about it, because those things are the frequent things that are happening now, and Pinterest will reward the creators that are talking about those subjects. The best way for you to do that is creating a content calendar, believe me. And well, I've mentioned content calendar a lot in this presentation, right? I know that you guys are all wondering, what is a content calendar, right? So that wasn't a question that I was mapping as a part of our prize. You know, I know that everybody is excited to get a bottle of caipirinha here, but just bear with me for a while. So a content calendar, it's a simple way for you to organize the content that you will be sharing on your social media platforms. And it's a tool that helps you to plan, to design, and to execute your social media strategy. So now that we learned a bit more of like 4 different social media platforms that are very, very popular, you need to start to think on how and where you would share your content. Which of those platforms is the ideal for you? And to help you on that, the content calendar, mapping important season stuff, or important holidays, or things that happen with your brand that you need to celebrate, or even your own birthday if you're a solo creator selling things from your heritage and your family. You know, a content calendar is that. It's a tool to help you organizing your content. Those are some examples of like content calendars. Your content calendar doesn't need to be super colorful, or doesn't need to be a Excel spreadsheet. You can open up a document on Microsoft Word or on Google Docs and start to pin like different dates and different celebrations and organize the content that you want to share. And well, I'm a huge advocate of organization, and a content calendar is important because of that. It's a tool that helps you planning in advance. You know, when you plan in advance, you have more time to have more ideas, to have new ideas, to react fast when something unexpected happens. And we all know that the unexpected is here. It's COVID-19. So how do you organize your ideas if you don't know what you were about to post before everything happens, before everything changes, you know? A content calendar also establishes a system and organizes your agenda, and guarantees that that's the most important thing that a content calendar can do for you. That can guarantee that your social media platform of choice, or your social media platforms, your social media presence will always be up to date. There's nothing worse than having a small business and then wake up in the morning thinking, oh my God, I have absolutely no idea on what I will be posting on my Twitter account today. I have nothing planned. I won't post. And then you do that one day, you do that 2 days, you do that for a week, and suddenly you spend like 3 or 4 months with your Facebook without any updates. And people that follow you there might think, oh my God, what happened with that brand? What happened with those cool guys? They disappeared, they might have closed. You know, that's the biggest benefit of a content calendar. It allows you to keep your presence on social media, even when you're not really thinking about it, because you have everything scheduled, you have everything organized.
What should you include on your social media, on your content calendar? Let me just fix one thing here. Okay, I think my headphone just died. Are you guys still listening to me?
Yeah, we still hear you, Rakky.
Okay, great. Amazing. So what should you include in your content calendar? Well, there are loads of things that you can include in your content calendar. You can include a special seasonal event, or a event in which you'll be exposing your brand, or anything that is related to your brand story and heritage. Anything that it's related to your business, or celebrations of the designs and craft days, or yeah, you can have like loads of different things in your calendar, celebrating the summer, celebrating things that are related to your brand. At Matrix Internet, as Jeff said in the beginning, we are a very multicultural company. We are also very international, have a multi-skilled team with loads of different specialities. So what we try to do for our content calendar is to schedule and to plan blog posts and posts on our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and all our social platforms that can show people that power of your brand. So if you go on our Instagram account, you see loads of different posts about the history of our colleagues, of my colleagues from India, from Slovakia, from Czech Republic. Oh my God, Thomas will kill me now. From Spain. So we have this as one of the key strategies of our social media content. We also share loads of content about digital marketing and web design, web development. Those are our specialties. You that is watching this webinar right now, you are the right person to decide how you want to interact and what you want to share in your social media. You know your brand more than anyone, so you know what people would be interested in learn about your brand and about your content. Now, I'll be sharing with you some cool tools to help you organizing your social media presence. And those are 3 tools that we have used in different moments, and they are they have different functionalities and they have different specificalities. The first tool is Hootsuite. So Hootsuite, it's a social media marketing dashboard that provides free and paid versions. And with Hootsuite, you can integrate all your social media presence in one single platform. You can plan and schedule and post content in different networks. So if you have a content that you want to share on Facebook next week, you can schedule that there. You can do that for Instagram, for Twitter, for Pinterest as well. And Hootsuite also offers you loads of panels with analytics, so you can see how your content is performing, which kind of audience are you reaching, how your ads are performing, if you do paid ads in your social media platforms, loads of different things. If you go to hootsuite.com, you see that there are loads of different plans for different company sizes, and that there's also a free plan that allow you to test the waters, you know, to check if you like the platform, if you want to use that further. The second social media managed platform that I'll be sharing with you guys today is Sprout Social. So Sprout Social does almost everything that Hootsuite does, but they also allow you to save drafts and approve that with different people from your company. So you can plan in advance, creating your content calendar. You have all your content schedule, but you can send that content to different people in your organization and get their opinions, their improvements, all from one single account. And another differential of Sprout Social is that it integrates with Google Analytics and with Zendesk and with other platforms to give you a more complete view of how your social media is performing from these other sources as well. Sprout Social allows you to have, Sprout Social offers a 30 days trial, so you can always contact them and experiment with the tool, see if you like, see if you don't like, see the questions that you might have, and then decide if you like it, if you don't like it, if you want to pursue with that, if you don't. The third tool that I'll be sharing with you guys, and I know that you will like it, it's Buffer. Buffer is also a social media management tool, But well, Buffer started more or less like Hootsuite at the beginning, but recently they have been focused more on increase and improve the experience of the businesses that use Instagram as their main social media platform, or as the social media platform in which they interact the most. So some of the differentials that Buffer offers, it's one, the stories planner. So that's not available in most of the services out there. So you have the tool there to help you organizing your stories, the videos that we'll be sharing, the photos that we'll be sharing in the stories. There's a link in bio connection. So you're probably aware that if you don't have 10,000 followers on Instagram, you cannot share links in your stories. A way around this is using the link in bio to send people to click that link and go to our your land page. So buffers allow you to organize that quickly. Buffer also allows you to use Instagram tagging to tag your products from your Facebook store or from your store on your website there. And it offers also a trial, but this trial is shorter. It's only 14 days. Yeah, we are getting to an end of our presentation, but we need to talk about the elephant in the room, and the elephant in the room at the moment is COVID-19. I'm sure you all know that loads of things changed with COVID-19. We are doing this webinar, me from my home, and Jeff from the office. Jeff was in his place and the other day talking about e-commerce. So our way to work, our way to interact with people, loads of things changed because of COVID-19. At Matrix, we are working from home. We are doing everything that we can to assist all of our clients. And we are putting a lot of tips in our blog, that it's matrixinternet.ie/blog. But one of the blogs that I want you guys to take a look later on is this blog that we wrote about how to keep an active online presence during COVID-19. And I think the key tip here is just, as they say, as people say, if you are out of sight, you are out of mind. So if you don't have, if you can't be in your brick and mortar store now, talking to your customers and talking to people that go there to look at your products and to feel them and even to buy it, stay active online is the key, and social media platforms are here for you. There are loads of specialists out there saying that we should reverse the percentage of time that we use in our marketing strategies. So before COVID-19, the recommendation would be to invest 60% of our time in sales and 40% of our time in engagement. So now things are inverted. So use 60% of your time in engagement and be there and assist your customers and give them answers about your operation or about your products, about your services. And if you are not able to offer products or services now, because a lot of people can't, you can still offer content, you can still offer cool things for people to see when they are online, and that's the way to keep your brand there for them. I have 3 cool examples of Matrix clients that are doing their best on that. And the first client is Lisney. Lisney is a very famous real estate agency here in Ireland. And because they had already their content calendar super organized for all the year, they knew exactly what they would be like to do during March, during April, during May. So they had loads of things planned and everything falls apart. So they had to think and other options. So what they did firstly was just to review and revamp the blogs that they already have done, to offer people cool alternatives of things that they could do in their homes, keeping themselves safe and keeping themselves isolated. They are also launching a campaign called Power to the Personal, in which they are talking about their team and putting value in these people and all the efforts that their people were doing to keep the operation going. They are performing a series of posts with working from home tips and with their teams working from home, but also the things that their people are doing during their free times. And this is actually very cool because it gives a more of a human touch, and it also they're doing some giveaways to like incentivize people to participate and to do cool things with their kids and with their family while they can't go back to their normal lives. So there are some tips there, very interesting things that they are doing. Second client that I want to mention here, it's Coffee Perfection. So they manufacture, they produce coffee bags, they sell coffee equipment, they do a lot of things related to their passion for coffee. When COVID-19 hit them, the first thing that they did was just to focus everything on their online shop. So they have an online shop, they offer all the equipment, they offer all the coffee bags and the different beans and the different options in their online store. They also started to release loads of discount campaigns. They organized some promotions as well. They started to offer a free shipping service to stimulate people to buy, which is also very, very cool. And they started one thing that's one of my favorite things ever. It's a very, very cool project that is called Kids Brew School. So Kids Brew School, it's nothing more than like a video in which James prepares some recipes of and shares some tips on how to brew your coffee, on how to reach a specific taste on your coffee, or like how to make that special cappuccino recipe that you saw online. But the biggest differential here is that James counts with a little help of his kids on it, and it makes the video super fun to watch, and it's a very, very cool idea. Last but not least, I'd like to talk about Repromed. Repromed, it's a fertility company. They have several clinics across the country, and of course, all their clinics were closed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So what to do when all your clinics are closed and you cannot offer your service anymore? So they quickly launched a online consultations page. So they shift all their first consultations, the initial consultations for people that had doubts about their fertility. They launched everything online. They are doing this online right now. They are offering this extra service for people that are interested and know more about their fertilities. They started the production of several blogs and several videos about the current status of the clinics, and they update their social media platforms almost daily with current news on the regulations involving fertility treatments and loads of important things for this specific audience. And they are also sharing a lot of relevant content on their social media platforms about their patients' stories, about their company story, about their employees' stories as well, as a way to interact with their audience. Wow, I think I talked a lot. So before I go to the question and answers part of this webinar, and before we finish, I just like to leave you guys with a final recommendation here. And it doesn't matter which social media platform you decide to invest your time with, or if you want to share things about your company in all different social media platforms, or if you want to focus on 2 or 3 networks. The things that you need to do to win on social media for business are to be present, to be authentic and share your story, to find your brand voice and use that, and to be there when your customer needs you. People might not need your product right now, but people are in need of a friendly word, of a fun thing to watch, of a advice, or I don't know, maybe a joke, a meme. Be there for your customer, and they will be there for you when things get back to normal.
Okay, Rakky, that's a great way to end it, and I think a really nice sentiment as well. So take a well-deserved glass of water. If it is water, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
It is water.
You deserve a drink. It's Friday, and as the country music song goes, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. So work away. So thanks for that. Some really good tips there, and hopefully somebody takes something from it. And I think they will. I think there's some really good advice in there. So we have some questions already, and I might take the first couple and give you a breather. Somebody has written in, Emma, and has asked a question about launching a Shopify account. And the question is, should I launch my Shopify account and upload more products as I go, or wait until the account is perfect? My quick answer, my 2 cents would be that I think you should launch it now and work on it. Because sometimes if you wait until it's perfect, you'll never get there. And I think launching it now means that you're under a little bit of pressure, and it gives you that bit of urgency to go and complete the listing. So my advice would be to launch now and perfect later in that regard. We also have another question, which is, let me see. Okay, so we have a question here from Katie. And the question actually is one that you can answer, Rakky. The question is it okay to share a year-old post that was popular?
Sorry? Is it okay?
Is it okay to share a post that is a year old, but that was popular? And I presume it's a post from somebody else.
If it's a post for somebody else, you can always share, adding to that post something related to your brand, to your product or service, you know. So when you go on sharing the content, I suppose that's from Facebook that you were asking. You will always have the option to only share it or to share with a comment.
Okay, and Katie actually clarified that it's her own post.
Sorry?
Katie has clarified that it would be her own post, but it was a year old.
Oh, okay. So if it's your own post, you can both share it from the original source from 1 year ago, or you can, even better, repurpose that, adding something new about it and post it again. You can do both and do like an A/B test to see how it performs. So I guess that's my answer. It's okay to share. It's okay. You can always share your own content over and over again. And it's also good to create something new from that. Okay, very good. We have another question, actually a good few questions. So we will try to answer them briefly, but as comprehensively as we can. And if anybody feels that they have a question that wasn't fully answered or fully fleshed out, they can always email or send a message to myself and Rakky in some way, and we will answer fully. Yeah, or you guys can use our Twitter handle to send the questions as well. It's at matrix_internet. We'll always be there for you guys. Okay, so another question is, what if you can't get your ideal domain name?
and I will answer that. I would say that in my experience, the importance of an exact domain name has become less and less because, well, first of all, there was a time when people would type domain names directly into address bars, and that has really gone. People use Google. A lot of the most successful websites out there don't have an ideal domain name that's catchy or have a good extension or a .com. So I think I wouldn't worry as much about the domain name as I would have worried 5 or 10 years ago. I think pick a domain name and go with it. So I don't think that's as big a deal. Another question we have is around, okay, so there's a few questions around content calendars. So this is obviously a topic that people really like and resonate with. So there's a couple of questions. The first question about content calendars is that, is there a good content calendar available online that you would recommend, Rakky? And the second question about content calendar is similar. Is there a content calendar template that you would recommend?
Okay, so there is a template available, and there's a very good content calendar that I highly recommend that is available on a HubSpot blog. If you go on a HubSpot marketing sources, they have an amazing blog for marketeers professionals, and they have this template that you can download for free. It's actually it's a Google Sheet spreadsheet. You download it, you connect it with your Google account, and it's ready for you to go. It already gives you suggestions on dates and on social media platforms that you can use. You can always create your own content calendar as well with the things that resonate better with your brand. And another good source is the Sprout Social blog. They have loads of different templates that you can adapt, of course, for what's better for your brand.
Okay, so Sprout Social and HubSpot, both of their blogs are good sources for templates and suggestions for content calendars and other things.
I think we should create a blog post with a template, Jeff. What do you think about it?
We're getting some good content suggestions here from the questions. Another question, so 2 questions about Pinterest.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is, do hashtags mean anything on Pinterest? And the second question is, does Pinterest lead to sales and website traffic? So I'll answer the first part about the traffic and the sales and give you an analogy. We have a client who manufactures Celtic jewelry, and they make engagement rings. And what we noticed was, first of all, we implemented a Pinterest plugin onto their website where people could easily pin the rings, the Celtic engagement rings that they liked. And that led to a spike in traffic on the website. But then we went a step further and we implemented, we put better information on Pinterest. So when people were going to pin a photograph of a ring, there was a link on Pinterest back to the website, and also some information about the purchasing and the ability to buy. And this had an effect. And you'd be surprised that they had some fantastic results where people were buying engagement rings of several thousands of euros, and the sale originated on Pinterest. So I can actually say from experience that Pinterest does lead to sales, but my recommendation would be to make sure that your website is Pinterest friendly and that Pinterest is friendly to your website and that you have filled it with the right information. And then the second part of that question is probably good for you, Rakky,
Mm-hmm.
in relation to hashtags on Pinterest.
So Pinterest, it's not the environment for hashtags. They don't mean a lot. As I mentioned in the presentation, when I was talking about Pinterest, what you need to assure is that your Pinterest account is SEO friendly, so that you are using the keywords that people would use to search about your product on Google search or inside Pinterest as well. So use as many keywords as you can to talk about your brand. And don't really care much about hashtags, because Pinterest is not a social media that puts a lot of value on it.
Okay, a question from Sheena, and the question is, Does how people interact with your Instagram stories affect the algorithm?
Yes, it does, because the stories are part of your brand. They are part of your presence. So as I mentioned in the Instagram part, everything that is related with how people connect with you matters. So comments, likes on stories, likes on pictures, likes on your Instagram TV, comments, interactions, shares, everything affects the algorithm.
Okay, nice and clear. So we have another question. The question is, what would you recommend in terms of the proportion between organic traffic and paid traffic? So for example, do you recommend, Rakky, that it should be 80% organic and 20% paid?
That really depends on what your brand is doing and how your brand is performing, you know. There is no yes or no question in here. Facebook allows you to see and to boost the posts they're performing better. So every time you see an opportunity to invest a bit on paid social, that's a great way to increase the reach and to make more people be aware of your brand. But that's no yes or no here. It really depends on the presence of your brand in the platform.
Okay, and another question is, how often should one post online?
Again, that's another question that it doesn't have a straightforward answer. You know, it really depends on how you are organizing your content, and it really depends on how frequent you want to be. If you want to keep a regular presence, you should post at least 3 times a week on Facebook, at least 2 times a day on Twitter. You should post at least 1 or 2 pins per week on Pinterest, and you should share at least 5 different kinds of content on your Instagram account, just to mention the social media platforms that we focused today.
Okay, very good. Another question is regarding video on Instagram, and do videos get more interaction from users than photographs?
No, as I said, the algorithm doesn't really differs photo and video, so it depends. It always depends on the content. So what Instagram does is that just for us to understand it clearly what the algorithm does. Let's say that my Instagram, my personal profile, I am a huge fan of cats. So I always like pictures of cats from my friends, from brands that I follow, everything that is related with the hashtag cats. I'll be there liking, I'll be there commenting, I'll be there sharing. So Instagram will realize that, and you will show me more pictures of cats. So let's say that your brand has 100 followers that for some reason are crazy about cats just like me, and you post a picture of a cat interacting with you, wearing your scarf. Let's say you sell scarves and you post a picture of a cat wearing this scarf. That picture will be shown to all people that like cats and that there are in your list of followers, you know. If it is a video, there will be the same logistics. So like photos and videos, they are not really too different for the algorithm. The algorithm recognizes content.
Okay. Next question is in relation to TikTok. What's your view on TikTok?
I love TikTok. I've been a bit of addicted to TikTok from a couple of months ago. And well, TikTok still doesn't have a business platform. It is still a very, very new social media platform. There are loads of brands trying to put themselves there and to create an image, and that's been working for some brands. It's not really working for others. So it's a very blurry area at the moment because they don't have a business platform yet. So I love it. I think it's a great way to show our natural side because it's not like based on a lot of filters or a lot of like special effects. You see that the videos that get more success on TikTok are original content, are content created on the go. So it's a network for creativity. And I really hope that they launch a business side of TikTok very soon for us to experiment there. But if you want to test the waters and create your profile just to like interact there and see of what everybody's talking about, I hugely recommend that. It's a very cool place.
Okay, and I would add in a final note there about TikTok, and the average user on TikTok spends 52 minutes per day on TikTok, which is scary, but interesting at the same time. And what I would say about TikTok is if you want to reach anybody in the age group of 10 to 30, I would say that you just have to be there. And obviously those people get older and older, but at this current moment in time, if you want to reach that demographic, it's a fantastic channel for that. Okay, so another question I have is, okay, so Valerie has sent in a question, which is, I have seen some people use some content beside their own Instagram stories. For example, fun fashion images, interesting graphics, quotes, vintage images. Is that okay to do?
Yes. Everything is okay to do if you have a strategy behind it and if that connects to your brand. So if you are selling ceramic pots and you start to share Instagram stories about I don't know, famous guitarists and musicians, there's not a huge connection there. So you should do that in your personal profile, not in your business profile. But if you find fun memes, if you find fun videos about ceramics and you want to share that in your stories, why not? It's a fun way to interact with people and you should definitely do it.
Okay, so we have another question, which is it okay to post only on Instagram when your business account is linked to your Facebook account? Or is it better to have two separate posts? Would Facebook, who own Instagram, rank these posts equally? So that's a question from Alexandra.
So let me check if I understand it right. The question is that if it's okay to post only on Instagram, even if you have a Facebook account connected to that Instagram account?
Yes.
And share that post on Facebook as well, the same content on Facebook and Instagram? Is that correct?
Well, the question is asking, or is it better to have two separate posts? So I think the question is about linkage.
So that's called a cross-posting. And what happens is that every time you create a content on Instagram or in whichever platform, you are creating content to be shared there. So if you just create the content, post on Instagram and post exactly the same thing on your Facebook, chances are that you are tagging the wrong people because people don't usually have exactly the same name on Instagram and Facebook, that you are using hashtags, a lot of hashtags that it's highly recommended on Instagram and it's not really recommended on Facebook, that you are sharing emojis that will be different in Instagram and in Facebook, that you are sharing information with two different audiences, with two different goals and different objectives with exactly the same content. So I know that it's very time consuming, but my recommendation would be always post original content and different content in each social media platform. You can even use the exact same links, but your Facebook audience will have a different profile. They will have a different time to be online. They will have a specific demand, and your Instagram account will have like different demands as well. So if you want to have an organized presence, and if you want to reach those two audiences with like quality content, you need to like do a bit of your homework and prepare content for their demands. Although they are connected, and Instagram and Facebook are like under the same company right now, you still have different audiences there, and you should use your content to reach your audiences in the way that they prefer to be reached. So different contents for different platforms.
Okay, that's a good answer. So I have another, there's actually two questions which I can blend into one. So the first question is around, and the user has actually said, is this a silly question? But it's not a silly question. How do I get more followers? Is it all about hashtags? And the second question from somebody else is it okay to fake it until you make it, until you actually get a decent following? So two questions about how to increase your amount of followers and engagement.
Okay, to increase your amount of followers, you need to understand who is your audience and who do you want to reach. No, it's not only about hashtags, it's about the quality of the content that you are posting, and to reach, it's about to reach the audience that it's out there looking for your content. So be present, organize your content, post in different times a day, and do your tests, you know, test different kinds of content, test different kinds of posts, different kinds of images, photos. Try to find out who is your audience and where they are. And of course, you will find them and you get your followers.
Okay.
One thing here, never buy followers because they are not real.
Okay. And then the second part of that question was, is it okay to fake it until you make it? Until you actually get it?
It's always okay. Like, so just go there and post your content and share your thoughts. And like, if you have a different idea, you just go there and risk it. And well, that's the way to do things, you know, you go try and try and try until you find a way.
Okay. Another question, is it okay to post with no hashtags?
Well, it depends. Are you posting on Instagram or Twitter? If so, it's highly recommended that on Instagram you can use up to 30 hashtags per post. Instagram. So yeah, Instagram, you can post up to 30 hashtags per post. It's very important for you to use hashtags related to your business. So I forgot to include that on the presentation, but there is a very cool website called allhashtags.com in which you can find hashtags to include on your Instagram posts. For Twitter, it's recommended to use up to 2, maximum 3 hashtags per post. Facebook and Pinterest aren't the place for hashtags. So if you want to use hashtags on Facebook, use maximum 1 per post.
Okay, excellent. And Katie has given her thumbs up to the answer.
Yay!
So another question we have from Anne, who asks, do you need to post on your Facebook page, even if you've just set it up to use it to link to your Instagram business account?
That depends on your strategy. If your strategy is to only use Instagram, and if you think that Instagram is the network for your followers, no, you don't need it. You are only using your Facebook page to connect it and to have the business access to paid ads on Instagrams. So it really depends on your brand. You don't really need to post if you don't want to, you know. It's your brand strategy. You are the best person to decide that.
Okay. So actually that brings us to the end of the questions, and Rakky, you've been fantastic with the bullets of answers that you've been bringing back. So thanks for that, Rakky. Mary, I think we've gone to the end of the list.
Yeah,
of questions.
that was fantastic. Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much. There's loads of thank you, and really appreciate the presentation, and well done, and thank you very much. It was a great help. So thanks very much for that, guys.
And guys, before we forget, we will decide on the winner of the bottle of cachaça on our Twitter account. So follow us on matrix_internet for the result very, very soon.
Great. Okay, thanks very much, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Bye now. Thank you.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.